Hey people, what's going on? It's Jamil, and what I'm speaking on currently, right now, is what happened with this police officer, Christopher Anderson, from the Muskegon Police Department. He ended up in the newspaper, and they're saying that he had Ku Klux Klan memorabilia or Ku Klux Klan regalia in his home. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is who all saw these items in his home and never made it public. One question that would come forth from that is, why should it be public? Well, for one, it's shocking. It's shocking to hear a police officer has Ku Klux Klan regalia in their home in 2019. Okay, now one of my thoughts is this on Chris Anderson. He's being crucified in the media right now, and I feel what he's going through. There's no connection between me and him. I don't know him. There's no connection between me and the Ku Klux Klan. I don't know anybody in the Ku Klux Klan besides just reading books and researching. But I too was crucified in the media, and I was prosecuted for a crime that I didn't commit. And I had people gang up on me and turn my scenario into something it wasn't. And they had no idea in the world what I was going through or what was happening. I was prosecuted for a misdemeanor stalking charge. And a woman said I tried to pull her out of a car, and that never happened. I didn't even know the woman. But I had sent flowers, made YouTube videos about a neighborhood watch. I had sent flowers to a woman and made YouTube videos about a neighborhood watch group in the community I live at. And the facts were twisted around, and I was crucified in the media. And I can't do anything without somebody jumping on. There's people who use my name on the internet I don't even know. There's people in foreign countries who use my name all over the internet I don't even know. And Christopher Anderson reminds me a lot of what I went through. Looking at his story, hey, a white police officer with Ku Klux Klan regalia in their home, that's something that's going to get the attention of a large proportion of the African American people in the West Michigan area and around the country and around the world. But this is my first question. Was this some sort of setup? Because how many white people saw this in his house and never said anything about it? And then an African American man comes into his home and sees it and gets frightened. Like me myself, if I walked into if I would have been over at Christopher Anderson's home for whatever reason, I would have no reason to be there. I don't know the man, he doesn't know me. But had I had been there and I had seen the Ku Klux Klan, and he had an application, he had an outfit. First question I would have asked, did he fit the outfit? Can he fit into the outfit? But I would have looked at it like, maybe with him it was more like people like John Wayne. Like a lot of people grow up watching John Wayne on television, and they fall in love with John Wayne, and they buy John Wayne posters and John Wayne magazines. They watch John Wayne movies. It doesn't mean they want to go kill. It doesn't mean they want to go kill a wild Indian, or they want to go do a duel in the middle of the street and blow somebody's head off. It just means they fell in love with John Wayne and they brought John Wayne to their home. Maybe it's possible Christopher Anderson fell in love with the spirit of what people know in the Deep South as the Confederacy. Maybe he grew up reading novels about the Confederacy, and he's a police officer, so he got into reading books about the Civil War, and he might be a gun collector as well. And so whether his racial views are similar to whether his social racial views are similar to the Ku Klux Klan, that it might not be exactly what people think it is. And I'm not trying to, I'm from Muskegon, Michigan. I have a presence on the internet. What I'm just saying is this: I was prosecuted in the court for a crime I didn't commit, and I was crucified by the media, by Lynn Moore and M Live. this man is becoming famous in the media, and the world news is going to end up picking it up. Like I couldn't imagine me myself speaking on a subject on the internet without various people picking it up and talking about it. And so, maybe, I wonder what his point of view on all this is. And now they got him. They got some sort of inquiry, and they got DJ Helson and Eric Hood. And I know Eric Hood. I met Eric Hood. Eric Hood's a good man. And I met DJ Helson. He gave a presentation at the NAACP, which I enjoyed. But I'm just trying to think. Muskegon County is tripped out. There's a lot of stuff I've been seeing in Muskegon County beyond just my gang stalking videos, beyond my videos of me growing up in the area where I tell stories about my childhood. I've seen a lot of strange stuff in Muskegon County. And the politics of Muskegon County aren't quite what I thought they were. I've been learning more about Muskegon County. It wasn't until I was arrested and I went through my court trial that I actually started paying attention to the politics of Muskegon County. Before that, I paid attention to events going on in the conspiracy research world or the independent media world, mostly pertaining to California. I love researching stuff that goes on in California, also on the East Coast of New York. I never really paid attention to Muskegon. That's kind of interesting, being I'm from Muskegon. But when I saw that this whole thing with my trial happened, and now you got a police officer in the Ku Klux Klan and whatnot, I'm like, man, this there's something going on. I think he deserves a fair inquiry. And did he make any enemies politically? Because he might have got set up. Not saying that the man who came into his home set him up, but I'm saying the scenario that happened might have been some sort of setup. And the fact that he has all this, he has KKK applications. Black people talk. Black people are talking about that. You better believe I can go over Muskegon Heights right now and go over to a relative's house. I go over to a family member's house, a cousin's house, or go over to a friend's house, and they're going to be talking about that. If I bring it up, they'll be sitting there talking about it for about 30 minutes, at least, probably an hour. And so there's something, in this day and age, to see a white man with Ku Klux Klan uniforms and stuff, and he's a police officer. Black people immediately are going to think of Trayvon Martin, all these black people that get killed by police officers around the country. Are these initiations into the Ku Klux Klan, that type of thing.